Do you ever just feel like you look like a crack whore and you can't really figure out why? Hi guys, my name's Alyssa and welcome back to my channel. I am in my mom's floor. I'm on my mom's floor. This is my mom's thing. Try not to get too distracted by it. Anyway, I decided that it'd be a great time for me to do Saturn and Sagittarius for y'all because I have some time and I can do that. A couple weeks back, or like 10 days ago or something, I went to Vegas for the day to hang out with Deborah Silverman, and it was fantastic because she's an amazing astrologer and it was an honor to even, be in her presence as the little minuscule astrologer that I am. We were talking, she's basically telling me that Saturn is her favorite planet. I think that's a normal thing that happens when you've been studying astrology for a long time. At first you learn about Saturn and you're like, oh shit, you are the reason for all of my issues. I hate you, Saturn. And then you kind of start going like, well, yeah, maybe Saturn has some things. It kind of rewards you. It's kind of nice. Then you grow up a little bit and you're like, well, actually Saturn is the coolest planet. It gives you your lessons, but once you pass your lessons, you're so much smarter. Well, who would love a great lesson? Maybe a Saturn and Sagittarius person would love a great lesson. Saturn and Sag itself, you're constantly going through lessons and you get to just expand your brain. It's doing it with your brain power. It's doing that with your need to travel. It's Sagittarius. It's really not that complicated here. You don't get to have as much fun as you want to have because you're too learny McLearnerson all the time. I'm gonna stop talking to you like you're my child. You guys are gonna hate me. And that's the one thing that Deborah told me, was that if you have Saturn and Sagittarius, your biggest issue is that you don't get to have as much fun as you want to. Oh, whoop-de-doo. You're just going through life trying to have fun and you just can't. You just always seem like there's never enough time to have fun because there's way too much stuff you're doing. I sound like I'm mocking you. It's because I'm mad at my sister and she has her Saturn and Sagittarius. Oh my gosh. Oh. You guys always say I shouldn't come at you with a biased opinion. Oh, my biased opinions are ruining everybody's life. Don't worry. I love my sister. I love her Saturn and Sagittarius. Maybe I'm a little bit jealous. It would be great to just have a lesson in lessons. If you're Saturn and Sag, you were born like 86 to 88. And maybe you're earlier than that. Maybe you were born in the 50s, because it's a very generational planet. Saturn comes around like every 28 to 30 years, and it stays in the same sign for 2 years. Right now, Saturn is in Scorpio. It's pretty soon going to go into Sagittarius, in which case all you Saturn and Sages are going to have your Saturn return, either your first or your second, or possibly your third. And when your Saturn return comes, you are going to get the biggest lesson. Maybe the lesson on your lessons is that you have to go learn more lessons, and you have to go travel, or you have to go find out about yourself or the Mayans or astrology, or maybe you're an actor and you have to work really hard now and it just sucks because you're studying for this role and you just have so much studying to do and you can't party and you're a little bit resentful of the fact that you can't party. Maybe that's your life now. Maybe that's what you feel right now. It just would be so nice if you could just take a break from how much your mind is constantly fucking expanding. Take a break and just have a good time. But you can't. Gotta keep going to work. Gotta keep going to school. You constantly feel like you have to go back to school. Like maybe you didn't get enough out the first time, so you gotta keep going. The value of an education is so important to you because like you have to learn, and it's just like a tick. And if you're like not going, you're like, oh, I didn't learn more. I need to get more. Now I need to get my doctorate because I already have my master's, and it's just not enough. There's so much more that my brain is going to be able to soak in, and I just constantly feel like I don't have enough. Like, why do you feel this way? With the Saturn and Sag, because of all these lessons, maybe you felt like you just weren't intelligent. Maybe people constantly were speaking over you, saying they knew more. If you were my sister with her Saturn and Sag, maybe you had 2 older siblings who had their Saturn and Scorpio, who constantly spoke in factual statements and declarative sentences, and you were annoyed because nobody ever listened to what you had to say. No one ever believed that you were smart. Maybe you didn't graduate high school because you were getting ridiculed too much, and you felt like, I just need to get more schooling, and I need to go on some adventure, I need to go overseas, I need to go see the world, I need to show these people that I'm better, and you always feel like you just have something to prove, either to yourself or to other people, something that is so ingrained in you to just be better and be smarter and be more traveled, full of experiences, because life is too short to just have fun and have a good time. And you probably look down your nose at someone like me who will tell you that my early 20s were full of, I don't remember because I was too drunk. And that just seems like a waste of a life. And because of how important it is to you to be well educated, looking at someone like me who is not well educated. Actually, I went to a very good public school system. I did mediocre in school because I didn't care. And I tried to go to college for a very long period of time. And I didn't care about it. So I decided just to not anymore. In a way, if you're Saturn and Sag, you can respect my knowledge of astrology because you know that I put the time in, because that is important to you. Because why would anybody go through life half-assed? Why would anybody try to talk about something that they didn't study for hours? Because that's just wrong, and it's not fair to those who actually put the time in. That's how you view people, that's how you view life, that's how you view yourself. There are not a lot of Saturn and Scorpios who are really famous. There are not really a lot of Saturn and Capricorns who are successful yet when we're this age, when we're young. But the Saturn and Sagittarius population of the world, oh my fucking god, you guys are like every famous person in the world right now. Like, are Saturn and Sagittarius. Because Sagittarius is this racehorse, and you're always trying to achieve. You're always trying to get things done. And so you push and you push and you push through these lessons that Saturn gives you. And it's constantly like, okay, are you doing a good job? Are you okay? Are you gonna succeed here? Are you gonna win? Because all you do is win, 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 no matter what. Of course, it always feels like you're not winning, because as soon as you win something, you're like, oh, now I'm back here. I gotta try again. I gotta work really hard again. But you're up for the challenge. You see a lot of Saturn and Sag judging each other. You have a very competitive relationship with your peers, and that is what makes you guys so successful, is how much competition you guys have within your own group, your peer group. You will work really hard, and maybe you won't sleep because you're working on something. So you're gonna take a break. I'm just going to take a break from school, just kind of see the world. You're going to actually go see the world because you have to, because you'll get restless. If you're not doing anything, you feel like less of a person, and it's really depressing. And you would like to have fun. You would.
Alyssa, I don't know how you do it. You spent your early 20s not doing shit with your life, just having a good time. Well, that's why you're poor. That's why people don't like you. Because if you spent your early 20s going to see the world, as I have, because I have a Saturn and Sag, you would be qualified to speak about what you're talking about.
And that is what rules you. This need. It's a little bit of an insecurity that you don't think that you could do the things that you're good at because you don't feel like you've learned enough. Those same high expectations that you have are also on everybody else. It probably grosses you out that people can actually do anything via YouTube. You're like, oh yeah, anybody and their mom can make a fucking YouTube video, and maybe for the chance encounter it goes viral. Here you are working for everything, learning new things, going to school, being as educated as you can possibly be on a subject, and you will not speak your mind about it until you know everything. And all it takes to go on YouTube is a voice. You don't have to know shit. It's got to be depressing. I know a lot of actors, because they're Saturn and Sagittarius, they go to LA and you guys are surrounded by each other, always competing over each other, getting better at your craft, taking acting lessons, doing that shit. And someone goes on YouTube, makes videos, and they're more known than you are. And you're like, well, it's not about fame. It's about the craft. It's about being really good at the craft. These people are making a mockery of the craft. It's all about the fucking craft to you. Whether or not you're an actor, or you're a lawyer, or you're a teacher, or you're an astrologer, or you're whatever. If you're not college educated, you're doing something to expand your mind. And you don't want to talk about it until you know that you're the best at it. In a way, because Sag is so big picture, you don't have time to communicate with everybody, so you just communicate inwardly. And that meanness that you have is almost, it's directed towards yourself. And it comes out to everybody else in a projected funniness. Like, you want to entertain people. You want to be funny. You want people to like you, and you want to have a fun time. And that's what you project. But on the inside, it's the complete opposite. You're telling yourself negative things. You're comparing yourself. You're getting irritated at people who are more successful. You need to be able to look inside of yourself and accept who you are. Know that if you don't get your doctorate, that you're not a fuck up. That whatever you've got going on for you, you're okay, and you're smart, and you're well traveled. Even if you haven't traveled anywhere, but your brain has been everywhere, and you have to accept that in yourself. And you have to know that you're the best at what you do, because you're the only one that can do what you do. And you have to give it to people. Don't hold on to it. Don't just say, oh, I think I can do this. I've always thought I could do this, but you never go out and do it because you don't feel like you're good enough. But guess what? The world is full of people that don't have as high of standards as you do, doing what you do poorly. Maybe you're not allowed to have fun just doing it. Maybe nothing in your life feels like it should be fun, and you need to just allow yourself to have a good time. Take breaks, long breaks, regroup yourself. You are smart, you are great, you are good, and you are everything you need to be just the way that you are. It just seems like a never-ending battle of being able to defend yourself when it's so hard to defend yourself against people who are just a lot stupider than you are, so you just kind of like shut it off. There is nothing more to prove. I know you're gonna keep proving because you feel this tick, and that's why Saturn and Sag can accomplish so much at such a young age. And if you haven't yet, it's alright, your time's coming, you're just learning more, but allow yourself to take your knowledge and share it. And that's your Saturn and Sagittarius. Bye.